Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 12th of July 2023 and the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is back to $1.20 trillion and later on today, the CPI numbers is going to be out and it's going to be really critical, guys, to check the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies after the CPI numbers are out, and that just might give us indication on what the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies might just be towards the end of this month and later on in the month, guys. Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike based on the CPI numbers as well. So really important metric to look at. Now in today's episode, guys, we're going to be discussing some drama between Coinbase and SEC, and this drama has been going on since the last few months. Now what's going to happen is on this Thursday, Coinbase and the US Security Exchange Commission will be meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a pre-motion hearing, and based on the outcome, it's definitely going to have a significant impact so far as the shares of Coinbase is concerned. So we'll very briefly touch base on that. And few days ago, guys, I did talk about Tether USDT and Circle USDC freezing $65 million, and that was because of a multi-chain hack. Now looks like the hack was an insider job, so we'll definitely go ahead and briefly discuss what that news is all about. And guys, listen, so far as Bitcoin is concerned, there has been roughly 85,000 Bitcoins which has been withdrawn since the last 3 years. Now I personally think that is absolutely great because essentially people are withdrawing it from the exchanges and hopefully they are putting it into the hardware wallet, and that is the whole idea of having Bitcoin. And it's so critical, guys, to understand not your keys, not your crypto. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at that. And guys, regarding UK, we have some update as well, and the Financial Conduct Authority, or called as FCA, is aggressively going after crypto ATMs, and so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what that news is all about. Now guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we have two news regarding Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is a massive breaking news, and this is to do with the cryptocurrency exchange BitOasis. And unfortunately, guys, Dubai's regulatory authority body, that is VARA, or Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, has reprimanded their license. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what that news is all about. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, make sure you follow BitOasis Twitter account, and in this particular case, definitely look at information from the first source, and the blog has all the relevant information. And the second news, guys, that we're going to talk about is regarding artificial intelligence. And guys, as you know, lately I've been covering news regarding artificial intelligence quite a lot in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, and this news has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So essentially the news, guys, is that Saudi Artificial Intelligence Project is helping to preserve Red Sea marine life, and this is done by King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, also called as KAUST. And we are going to be discussing how blockchain and possibly NFT could help in this case. So definitely quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retailer and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they've replaced it with Web3 and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since we've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, as of today, it is at $1.20 trillion. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, the moment the CPI numbers are out, it is significantly going to impact the global cryptocurrency market. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.47%. But the total cryptocurrency market over the last 24 hours, guys, is absolutely ridiculous. it is only at $26.21 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 20.32%. Just to give you some context, guys, the day El Salvador made Bitcoin an official legal tender, the 24-hour cryptocurrency market volume had crossed the $200 billion mark, and that particular day, only the volume of stablecoin Tether USDT was $160 billion. So it gives you some perspective on how bad the volume this year is. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is definitely down by 2.32%, but the scariest metric, guys, is that of DeFi. Not only is the volume ridiculously low, even the percentage is ridiculously low. So the volume of DeFi is down to $2.02 billion, and it accounts for 7.70% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is only at $44.45 billion, and Lilo, guys, is definitely leading the pack so far as total value locked, or TVL, is concerned, at $14.58 billion. Now in today's episode, guys, let me very briefly run through the volume of DeFi protocols, because later on, guys, when I'm going to be discussing Bitcoin Exodus, we will also look at the volume of decentralized exchanges in comparison, let's say, to centralized exchanges. And hopefully when we have people withdrawing from exchanges, the volume in peer-to-peer exchanges should definitely be pumping up. So that is an area we'll definitely touch base upon. Now the volume of Uniswap is at $650.37 million, followed by PancakeSwap at $248.01 million. Core Finance, guys, is number 3rd at $142.36 million. Maverick Protocol is at number 4th at $78.58 million. And finally, guys, Dodo at $77.9 million. Now, once again, guys, in today's episode, we're going to be looking at the volume of stablecoins. And to be honest, guys, this is a matrix which worries me the most. There are 3 things right now I could say that worries me the most. The volume of stablecoin is ridiculously low. It accounts for a higher percentage, and stablecoins can also go ahead and freeze your transactions. So the volume of stablecoins, guys, is $23.96 billion. It accounts for 91.43% of the total cryptocurrency market volume. And lately, as we know, Tether USDT and Circle USDC did actually freeze $65 million worth of transactions. So the big question is, why would you want to use stablecoins as and when news regarding central bank digital currencies is being developed? It's definitely not ideal. Now, out of this $23.96 billion, Tether USDT is clearly an outlier, and its volume is $17.61 billion. Circle USDC's 24-hour volume is $2.66 billion, and guys, Binance BUSD's volume is at $1.73 billion. And guys, today, 11th of July, it has finally happened. The market cap of Binance BUSD has gone below the $4 billion mark. Now, just to give you some perspective, guys, before the SEC going after Binance and Binance BUSD and Binance US, the market cap of Binance BUSD alone was over $16 billion, and there were speculations that it will cross the $17 billion mark. Unfortunately, guys, the market cap of Binance BUSD has been on a downturn, and just today, 11th of July, it has gone below the $4 billion mark. Absolutely scary. Now let's quickly look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap is $598 billion. Ethereum is at $227 billion. So the big question for you guys is today, how many times has the market cap of Bitcoin crossed the $600 billion mark? Mention them in the comments below. Now the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin and Ethereum is $11.8 billion and $5.05 billion. The dominance, surprisingly, guys, for Bitcoin has definitely gone up. It is at 50.02%, whereas Ethereum is at 19.02%. Now in today's episode, guys, what I'm very briefly going to run through is the market cap of interoperability protocols and file storage protocols. And in today's episode, guys, we'll take a deep dive in one of the file storage protocols, that is Filecoin. So I'll go ahead and give you information on what the protocol is, who the founders are, and just some basic level information. But before that, let's look at the market cap of interoperability protocol. The first one, guys, is a protocol called as Quant, and its market cap is $1.23 billion. The second one is Moonbeam, and its market cap is $162 million. So look at the difference, guys. So it looks like Quant is clearly an outlier. And the number 3rd is a protocol called as Synapse, and its market cap is $122 million. And guys, listen, if you've ever heard of Six Sigma, which essentially looks at data, it's a lot technical, you should truly understand what upper specific limit is and what lower specific limit is. Usually when the upper specific limit is extremely high, it does raise some ethical concerns. Now, I'm not saying that Quant protocol is doing something wrong, but historically that's what the data says. Now, so far as file storage is concerned, guys, the number one protocol is Filecoin, and the market cap is $1.88 billion, and the second one is BitTorrent, which is managed by Justin Sun's Tron protocol, and its market cap is $453 million, and the third one, guys, is Arweave, and its market cap is $385 million. Now, in today's episode, guys, let's very quickly look at what Filecoin is. Now, the price for Filecoin is $4.30, and its ticker symbol is FIL, and if you look at it via CoinMarketCap, guys, it is at number 30th. So let me very briefly explain what Filecoin is, because Filecoin, guys, is a decentralized storage system that aims to store humanity's most important information, and the project raised $205 million in its initial coin offering, or ICO, going back to 2017, and they had initially planned a launch date for mid-2019. However, the launch date for Filecoin mainnet was pushed back until block number 148,888, which happened somewhere in the last quarter of 2020. Now, the project, guys, called Filecoin was first described back in 2014 as an incentive layer for IPFS, or Interplanetary File System, which is essentially a peer-to-peer storage network where users pay for data storage, and the distribution services was on its token called as FIL. And Filecoin, guys, is an open protocol and is backed by a blockchain that records commitments made by the network's participants with transactions made using FIL or its native token, and the blockchain is based on proof of replication and proof of space-time. Now, Filecoin, guys, is open source and decentralized, which means that all governance is in the hands of the community. And on the Filecoin platform, developers have the opportunity to create cloud file storage services like Dropbox or iCloud, and anyone can join Filecoin and start storing their data or earn money by providing space for someone else's funds. And the creators of Filecoin, guys, opted for blockchain technology to run the network and the tokens with their own consensus. Now, the native token called as FIL is the native currency of Filecoin as well, that powers the entire blockchain network and processes, and clients pay for transactions in FIL tokens. Miners place FIL as collateral, guaranteeing the services, and guys, the developers claim that Filecoin solves the problems of inefficient storage and retrieval, and customers can find right solutions with an efficient set of tools and its core development, that is IPFS. Now, the big question, guys, is why would you want to use Filecoin when you already have, let's say, Dropbox, which does all of these things for free, and even Google, they have the Google Drive storage. I believe it is roughly around 2 TB, depending on the location where you're at, and it is completely free. And one of the biggest advantage of, let's say, using a centralized protocol is, let's say if your data were to be hacked, there is possibility to get it back. But in case of, let's say, a decentralized or distributed consensus protocol, what happens if there is a hack? To be honest, I would be really concerned about using such protocol, but let me go ahead and explain who the founders are. Now, Filecoin, guys, was founded by Ewan Bennett, who also created the IPFS system, or Interplanetary File System. And Ewan Bennett, guys, is an American computer scientist who studied at Stanford University. And after founding Protocol Labs in May 2014, he attended Y Combinator in summer of 2014 with the intention of supporting both IPFS and Filecoin, as well as other projects. Now, what is it that makes Filecoin unique? Filecoin aims to store data in a decentralized manner, unlike cloud storage companies, let's say like Amazon Web Services or Cloudflare, which are prone to problems of centralization. And Filecoin leverages its decentralized nature to protect integrity of a data's location, making it easily retrievable. And how to censor and decentralized storage systems like Filecoin allow people to be their own custodian of the data, as well as make the web more accessible to people worldwide. Since participating in the Filecoin network by mining and storing is directly related to winning more block rewards, Filecoin incentivizes participants to act honestly and store as much as data as possible. Now, what I think, guys, it could be a protocol that maybe a lot of big companies can go ahead and use it. But again, the big question is, what happens, let's say, if you were to lose your private key? Or worst case, what if there is a hack? Because a few days ago, guys, we talked about Multichain, which did have an hack. And in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that as well. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding Filecoin, the website is filecoin.io. So definitely go ahead and check more information about it. Now let me very briefly run through what are the benefits of using Filecoin. Now firstly, with the launch of a large and free market specializing in data storage, there is a tendency to reduce the cost of service itself, and the market becomes more open to everyone, which gives a lower pricing for using the network. And guys, as of last quarter of 2022, the network unit has over 25,000 users and computers around the world, creating an extensive community with similar goals and requests. Moreover, guys, Filecoin opts for existing resources instead of creating new technologies and devices, and miners can join the network from anywhere in the world. And finally, guys, you always need to remember Filecoin is a decentralized network with its own way of protecting information and preventing single point of attacks. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts on that? And what I think is, let's say it'll be really difficult for individuals to go out and use it, but let's say for large corporations, maybe they do have some backup mechanism for the private keys, and it might be an ideal use case. Let's say for companies, for large institutions. These are my thoughts anyways. Now, guys, let's discuss the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, the price of Bitcoin, guys, is $30,748, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.65%, and since the last 7 days, it is marginally down by 0.06%. Ethereum, guys, is at $1,890, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.41%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.36%. But listen, guys, one of the scariest metrics which I've been observing, at least for the past 6 months now, is that of Binance BNB coin. Because no matter what is happening to Binance BNB coin or Binance BNB chain or even Binance BUSD, the price is relatively constant. This ideally should not happen. It just means that maybe there is someone in the back end who's trying to manipulate the price to keep it relatively consistent to what is happening to the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Definitely not good. Now the price is $249. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.96%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.61%. Now ideally how it should work is, because Binance BUSD's market cap has gone down and the usage of Binance BUSD has also gone down, this should definitely have a negative impact, guys, on the price of Binance BNB coin. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and I've also looked into detail the decentralized app protocols that are working on Binance BNB coin, and keeping all these things, keeping the number of active users interacting with decentralized app smart contract, I do feel that there's something shady going on in maintaining or keeping the price of Binance BNB coin steady somewhere between the $220 to $250 range. But once again, guys, I definitely am hoping I'm 100% wrong. Now in today's episode, guys, let's discuss some drama between Coinbase and SEC. And the news is that Coinbase and the US Securities and Exchange Commission will be meeting this Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a pre-motion hearing. And the hearing, guys, may give us a sense of how the judge is looking at the case in its earlier stages. And CoinDesk, guys, has broken down what the news is all about. Essentially, what they are saying is that Coinbase has argued that the allegation shouldn't even apply to its operation. The SEC, on the other hand, though, has not swayed away by this argument, and in its response they have said that Coinbase's attempts to construct its own test for what constitutes an investment contract is absolutely negligible. So let me very briefly run through what this news is all about, because as you know, guys, Coinbase is a popular cryptocurrency exchange and is currently facing a lawsuit filed by US Securities and Exchange Commission, and this case is in its early stages, and a pre-motion hearing is scheduled for this Thursday, and this hearing will provide some insights into how the judge is approaching the case. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission alleges that Coinbase was operating as a broker, an exchange, and a clearinghouse for unregistered securities. It also claimed that 13 cryptocurrencies listed on Coinbase met the requirements of the Harvey test, a legal precedent set by the US Supreme Court going back to 1940s. Now, Coinbase has been preparing for this lawsuit and arguing that there is insufficient regulatory clarity for crypto industry to comply with security laws. And its response to SEC, Coinbase actually argued that the allegation should not apply to its operation because the transaction on its platform are asset sales rather than security transactions. However, guys, the SEC has completely disagreed, and in fact they have accused Coinbase of trying to create its own definition of investment contract. Now mind you, guys, the SEC also criticized some of Coinbase's arguments and pointed out that the lawsuit is justified, citing Coinbase's own public disclosures about possibility of being sued. And the pre-motion hearing, guys, this week will give us an idea of the initial direction of the legal battle. Now, very specifically, remember, guys, when the SEC did aggressively go after Coinbase, the shares of Coinbase did actually go down terribly. But what I'm noticing is that right now, because of BlackRock going ahead and submitting an ETF application, Coinbase shares is also pumped up. And there's something to do with ARK Investments, and I'll try to cover that in tomorrow's episode. Now, going back to the news, guys, it is important to know that the case should potentially continue for several years if no settlement is reached. And a classic example you can think of is SEC and Ripple Labs case. Now, in some regards, it's important to note that Coinbase and SEC are heading to court over allegations that Coinbase operated as an unregistered security broker, and the pre-motion hearing will offer insights into the judge's perspective on the case, providing clues about the key issues that will shape this legal battle. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens to the share prices of Coinbase probably on Thursday. Now guys, let's discuss some news that has shaken up the cryptocurrency world so far as attacks is concerned, and this news is regarding the multi-chain attacker. So let me go ahead and break down this news guys, because Cointelegraph has reported that a person is using multi-chain executor to drain tokens associated with any swap bridging protocol. According to a July 10 report from on-chain sleuth and Twitter user Spreak, the report follows outflows of over $100 million from multi-chain bridges that occurred on July 7th, which were reported by multi-chain team as abnormal. And according to the report guys, the multi-chain's executive address has been draining any token addresses across many chains today and moving them all to an externally owned account. Now listen to this guys, and this is where it gets tricky and interesting. The Chainalysis, which does a lot of forensic investigation, what they actually state is that the attacker is suspected to be an insider job, since Multichain has recently experienced some notable issues unrelated to its protocol design, prompting public suspicions that insiders may have carried out this recent exploit. So let me go ahead and explain what the news is all about, because the Multichain hack guys was a significant event with more than $125 million worth of cryptocurrencies. So what this report by Chainalysis says, majority of the funds, around $120 million, were taken from Multichain's Phantom Bridge, and the attacker also targeted Dogecoin Bridge, resulting in an 85% loss on total deposits, and the Moon River Bridge, which had $6.8 million in assets including Tether USDT and USDC. And this news guys I did actually cover in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast a few days ago, where Circle and Bitfinex, the issuer of Tether USDT, did actually got in free $65 million worth of transactions. Now one thing to remember guys, that multi-chain employs a security mechanism called as MPC, or multi-party computation, to protect the smart contract, and MPC works by splitting private key shards among multiple parties who must collaborate to execute transactions. However, if an attacker gains control of sufficient number of MPC keys, they can exploit the system, and based on the report guys, this is likely how the attacker was able to carry out the unauthorized withdrawals. Now interestingly, the attacker did not quickly swap the stolen assets for cryptocurrencies that are less vulnerable to security measures. Assets like USDC can be frozen by the issuing company, and both Circle and Tether froze several addresses holding asset withdrawal from multi-chain, and this guys prevented the stolen funds from being transferred or swapped for other assets. Now at this point of time, the frozen addresses holds approximately $65 million in stolen assets, and the nature of the attack guys has raised suspicion if it is being an inside job or rug pull. And prior to the exploit guys, Multichain had encountered various issues, including the sudden disappearance of its CEO, and rumors circulated that the CEO has been arrested in China, and there were allegations of the confiscation of $1.5 billion from the protocol's smart contract funds, and as a result, multi-chain service from Multichains was suspended, and the platform also faced delayed transactions and technical problems, leading Binance to end support for several token bridges on Multichain. Now following the hack guys, Multichain initiated an investigation and advised users to pause transactions. Unfortunately, scammers took advantage of this situation by impersonating the Fountain Foundation on Twitter and spreading phishing links to trick affected users into claiming an emergency FTM distribution. Now one thing to remember guys, to mitigate the risk of such exploits, rigorous code audits are extremely critical, and these audits help develop, identify vulnerabilities, and provide users with an understanding of the protocol security. But one thing to remember guys, that the multi-chain hack was a result of compromised keys rather than faulty code. And this is where audit reports kick in, because audit reports can highlight which parts of a protocol are controlled by external addresses, thereby identifying potential vulnerabilities. And it's so critical guys that we as users or as customers should also conduct our own research before engaging with any of these protocols to assess its reliability. Now, if you do want to find out more information guys, you can go to Chainalysis and maybe read through it, but those were some basic level information. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Bitcoin exodus, because Bitcoin.com has reported that over 855,000 Bitcoin has been withdrawn from exchanges since July 2020, and according to a recent data, about 2,086,034 Bitcoins were held on exchanges as of 11th of July 2023, and the figure is 154,160 less than the number held on centralized trading platform 72 days earlier, and this data was on April 30th. and the number of Bitcoin on exchanges has significantly dropped since 31st of July 2020, where nearly 3 million Bitcoins were held in exchange servers. This, to be honest, guys, is absolutely beautiful matrix, which just means that people are withdrawing the funds from the exchanges and hopefully they are putting it in their own hardware wallet. And this, guys, goes back to the very basic definition of Bitcoin. Bitcoin by definition is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, and this, guys, is the beauty of using cryptocurrencies, and centralized cryptocurrency exchanges are facing the Bitcoin drain right now, which I personally think is definitely a good thing. And earlier on, guys, in the episode when I was discussing about DeFi matrix, I also tend to look at the percentage or DeFi's dominance, and one matrix which I tend to check via DeFiLlama.com is decentralized exchanges dominance. Now, as of now, the dominance is only 11.62%, but there is only one way to go forward, and it'd be really crucial to see when decentralized exchanges dominance is roughly around 40%, which just means that people are using more decentralized exchanges as opposed to, let's say, centralized exchanges. So definitely positive news. Now, guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news, and this is to do with crypto ATMs in UK. And the Financial Conduct Authority is proceeding with efforts to shut down all Bitcoin ATMs illegally operating in the country. And guys, after more inspections in the past couple of months, the watchdog vowed to contribute to take actions against operators of unregistered crypto teller machines, and British authorities have inspected 18 more sites believed to be illegally operating automated teller machines or ATMs supporting cryptocurrencies. And these checks, guys, have been carried out by Southwest Regional Organised Crime Unit, Bedfordshire Police, Hertfordshire Police and Crime Commissioner, and the Metropolitan Police as well. So the rule is pretty simple, guys. Don't use the crypto ATMs, rather use a decentralized exchange or use a centralized cryptocurrency exchange. Now, guys, let's discuss two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, as I mentioned, is a breaking news. And Dubai's VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, has actually reprimanded BitOS's license. So what happened yesterday, guys, is that Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, also called as VARA, issued a market notification regarding BitOS's ongoing work to fulfill select conditions associated with operational MVP license with respect to serving institutional and qualified retail investors. And mind you, guys, BitOS is currently working with VARA on fulfilling the remaining conditions and is committed to providing a safe and secure services to its users. Now, I know quite a lot of people in UAE are active users of BitOS. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, make sure you follow constant updates from Twitter via BitOS, and also go ahead and read through the blog that is mentioned via BitOS. Avoid looking at mainstream media or listening to cryptocurrency influencers. Let me just very briefly run through what the BitOS blog states. And the BitOS blog actually states that Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority has suspended BitOS's operational MVP license for institutional and qualified investors, and BitOS has not yet started providing services to these segments due to pending VARA mandate conditions. And the most important thing to note, guys, is that the suspension does not affect BitOS's ability to provide broker-dealer services to existing users. And as of now, BitOS, guys, will not onboard new clients until it fulfills VARA's requirements, and the team is working closely with VARA to address post-licensing conditions and obtain full market product licensing, also called as FMP. And BitOS, guys, is committed to operating a compliant and regulated platform under VARA's supervision. And finally, guys, transparency is a key value for BitOS, and the community will be updated as requirements are addressed prior to applying for an FMP license. And the MVP license program launched by VARA, or Virtual Regulatory Authority, is the first of its kind process in the virtual asset industry, and BitOS was a pioneer in Dubai's virtual asset industry, being the first registered provider with the UAE's Financial Intelligence Unit. And BitOS, guys, obtained approvals from VARA in March of 2022 and was the first trading platform to secure an operational MVP license. And BitOS remains committed to collaborating with VARA despite the unique challenges of being a pioneer in the ecosystem. So it's going to be really interesting to see as and when we get updates regarding BitOS. And guys, what I'll do is I'll definitely go ahead and mention them in my podcast as well. Now, guys, let's discuss the second news, and this is to do with artificial intelligence in Saudi Arabia. And what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to try to find out ways where blockchain technology or NFT actually budges with this news. So the news is that Saudi Arabia's project is helping to preserve Red Sea marine life. So let me go ahead and break down what this news is all about, because the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, also called as KAUST in Saudi Arabia, is using artificial intelligence to preserve Red Sea fish species and assess their sustainability. and Cost or KUST employs algorithms and machine learning to analyze data on fish, population, fish practices, and environmental factors, and the aim is to determine the sustainability of fisheries and create predictive models for future stock levels. And Saudi Arabia, guys, currently imports 60% of its seafoods and seeks to become self-sufficient through aquaculture. And Gaza Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture supports the research projects to inform fishery management and secure the future of the food source. And the project, guys, aims to transform fisheries research from a reactive to a proactive discipline. And popular species like grouper and humped wrasse in the Red Sea are declining, and the management of local fisheries is limited. And Andrew Temple, a postdoctorate at the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, wants to prevent species decline and facilitate marine conservation measures. And Temple, guys, is developing an AI-based tool to categorize fish based on economic value and population growth, helping decision makers prioritize conservation efforts. So definitely good use of using artificial intelligence, and the tool, guys, will assist stakeholders such as the Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture, and coastal projects like NEOM as well. That is NEOM. Absolutely mind-blowing project, guys. And the Temple combines market studies, local knowledge, and biological data to estimate population growth rates of fish species. And large fish, guys, are slower to reproduce at a higher risk of overfishing. And Temple has collected data on size, age, and reproductive maturity of higher-value species from local fish markets and ports. And economic value of fish requires understanding market trends and cultural preferences as well. Now, the big question, guys, is where does blockchain fit into all of this? So let me go ahead and give my thoughts on that. But before that, it is important to know that different fish are priced in different areas, and unwanted fishes are either discarded or used for personal consumption. And now this project, guys, aims to improve fisheries management for marine conservation and food security in Saudi Arabia. And this research, guys, contributes to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 by promoting sustainable food production. And Ghazi's innovative approach of employing artificial intelligence in fisheries research has the potential to address timely challenges. So the big question is, where does blockchain technology fit into all of this? Now, there are two areas I can think of. One is data security and privacy, and the second one is maybe intellectual property and royalty management, and that's the area where NFTs kick in. So let me go ahead and explain how blockchain technology and NFT could play a part in it. And so far as data and privacy is concerned, blockchain technologies, guys, can provide a decentralized and immutable ledger to ensure the security and privacy of AI-generated data. And with growing concerns around data breaches and unauthorized access, blockchain technologies can offer a transparent and tamper-proof system for storing and verifying data used in artificial intelligence methods. And what about cryptocurrencies, guys? You can probably even use cryptocurrencies, and that can be leveraged to incentivize individuals or organizations to share their data securely with AI developers, creating a trusted and decentralized data marketplace. This can help overcome data scarcity challenge and foster the development of more accurate and robust AI algorithms. What are your thoughts, guys? As long as it's being used in open blockchain protocols, I'm definitely in for it. Now, the second area I think where blockchain or NFTs can kick in is intellectual property and royalty management. So NFTs, guys, which are unique digital asset representing ownership or proof of authenticity, can revolutionize the way AI-generated content, such as, let's say, artwork or music, is protected and monetized. And AI algorithms can be used to create original and compelling content by leveraging NFTs. AI developers can establish verifiable ownership and track the usage and royalties associated with the generated content. And this can provide creators with greater control over the work, enable fair compensation, and encourage the development of AI models that generate high quality and valuable content. Now, what I want you to do is, guys, think of this news, how it can be combined with Saudi Arabia's project to help preserve the Red Sea marine life. Definitely an area where NFTs can also merge in, and by combining the benefits of blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs with AI development, we can enhance data security, foster innovation, create new opportunities for creators and developments in the AI ecosystem. Now, could it be possible that we can probably track all the fishes using an NFT? So each fish will be having an NFT, or maybe these NFTs can be broken down into sub-NFTs as well. Just an area of thought. So those are the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee 88 from Blockchain DXB for the 12th of July. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXP. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Roshan who asks, do you think the news on Thursday between Coinbase and SEC might be bullish for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Definitely not, Roshan, to be honest, because this is a case which involves Coinbase and Security Exchange Commission. I don't see how it could be bullish, let's say, for the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. It just might be bullish for the shareholders of coin shares. So it could be possible, let's say, if the hearing is in favor of Coinbase, the share prices of Coinbase would go up, and indirectly what cryptocurrency influencers which are sponsored by maybe Coinbase will say that the SEC is losing the case, and because of that the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies might pump up. And this is a classic case between SEC and Ripple. It's been years since the case is going on, and to be honest, what I think is that the Ripple team is actually using the court case in order to pump the price of Ripple. Whenever there is news regarding some updates between SEC and Ripple, the price of Ripple actually pumps up, and most likely that might happen, let's say, to the shares of Coinbase as well. Now, but I'm really hoping that the case does not drag on for years, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the case drags on for maybe 3 to 5 years, and unfortunately, I am hoping that the Coinbase influencers or people associated or sponsored by Coinbase do not make it as a marketing tool, because whenever there is any update, they're going to say that Coinbase is definitely winning the case. Tokens that are listed in Coinbase will definitely pump up to the moon. Unfortunately, that is the crazy world of cryptocurrencies. But to answer your question, Rohan, no, I don't think so that news should have any significant impact, or as a matter of fact, any impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But one thing which I mentioned earlier, cryptocurrency influencers, what they're going to do is they're going to take any random news, connect it to this news, and make the news bullish. And what they're going to do is they're going to force, let's say, certain tokens that they already have a lot of holdings, and they're going to pump that coin. Once the price pumps up, they're going to sell their own coins, and that is also a classic case of pump and dump as well. So this goes back to my point that, unfortunately, this news should not have any impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies directly, but indirectly, definitely yes. So those are my honest thoughts, Roshan, on your question. So that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXP. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Check out my website, www.blockchaindxp.com. And also check out my other website, guys, it's area2071.com. That talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how this series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.